Hello, Catalyst community. Happy Friday. I wanted to come back and talk to you guys about goal setting. We started our conversation on goal setting last week and we discussed the SMART goal setting model. Just as a quick recap, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And we discussed how you could use that as a way to help you in figuring out and structuring your goals and why goals are important to have in the first place. I also introduced you guys to the idea of the 90-day summer goal challenge. And I told you that I'm doing it as well as all of my clients and encourage you to come along with us. Today, I'd like to share a bit of a conversation that I had with two of my clients who were lovely enough to volunteer to chat with you guys and to share how they feel about goals and the progress that they're making on their summer goals. So, without further ado, let's take a listen to see how some others approach goal setting. The first question that I wanted to ask you was, what role does goal setting typically take or play in your life?
Now, goal setting takes a priority in my life because I found the difference of not having goals and I have goals, and then actually having goals and try my best to meet them and writing them down. So now it takes priority because I need to be organized.
Do you think before you weren't organized, or how did you decide what you were going to do? How did you decide what the plans were and how we were going to get things done?
So I need to say, Nataki made it clear to me that I needed a calendar.
The calendar, yes.
So I purchased a calendar, and I found how imperative it is. Write it down. If this is what we're going to do, we need to do it. And then also with us having our sessions and talking about it, like, okay, so what did you write down? What did you need? So, sometimes I plunder, I say take two for the team. However, having these writing down my goals inside of my calendar and actually looking at the calendar, right? So you can one thing to write it down, it's a whole other thing to revisit it with me. And so being able to have, like, it's almost like you were holding me accountable. You never, it wasn't your finger.
Yes.
But it was just the fact that I know that you're going to hold me accountable, and this is something that's going to help me. So beneficial to helping me. So
that also makes me think that maybe just in general in life, it might be helpful to have an accountability partner, like somebody who is, going to ask you questions and it's going to actually care if you do what you said you're going to do. Yeah. So how do you handle setbacks? Like, we know life likes to life, right?
Yeah.
Life be life. So and things happen, things come up. And how do you normally manage or navigate that?
I would definitely say for me, it is setbacks always, it depends on like the setback. If it's like a small setback, then okay, cool. Like I'll just dust it off, keep going. But if it's a hard setback, I'll sit in it for a while. But also I'm not a type of person. Well, I am a type of person that I don't know, because I'm not the type of person that's just gonna keep. Is it looking your wounds? I'm gonna try to make sure that I cry about it, but still get up and be like, okay, girl, like what you got to do to make this happen? Because at the end of the day, like you do have to go through trials and tribulations, but they also shape you. So I think that anything that I have been through has definitely shaped me into the person that I am today. But also those setbacks are God set you back, but he's also going to move you forward when the time is right. So sometimes I understand that it's in God's plans. And then sometimes I'm like, no, I'm gonna take it into my head. So it just depends. It just depends on what the setback is. If it's small, okay, cool. But if it's something big, that's getting in the way of my goal, I definitely have to like go back to the drawing board, like, and reassess. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. That actually reminds me of a conversation I was having earlier with someone about how, it's the journey that is the most important. You have a goal or a destination in mind, but it's the process and what you go through that gets you there that's your life. Those are the days and the time of your life. So that matters. But that is the part that grows you. That is the part that helps prepare you in whatever ways you may need to be prepared that you don't realize for where it is that you are trying to get to and for what happens next. So, growing is never easy and it don't feel good. And they call it growing pains for a reason, right? But yeah, that reminds me of that. And also something that you just said about there is value in like taking a minute and just owning like this sucks. And maybe I do need to cry it out and, have pizza and ice cream for a day and just be really pissed about it for a minute. But at the same time, you can't stay stuck in that. So honoring and acknowledging where you are and how you're feeling, depending on, what the goal is that you're striving for, what the setback is, and acknowledging and owning where you are and honoring that and your feelings so you can get it out. But then like, okay, we gotta regroup and keep it moving. So that's real. That's really real. So when you have set a goal and then stuff happens, how do you navigate setbacks or disappointments in the process of getting to wherever it is you're trying to be?
So you might often hear me say now, because this has not always been the case beforehand. I would probably just spaz out, like lose my skill, the first layer of my skin off. Now is just if it's a setback, if it's something that I wrote down or something I had to do, just cross it off, move it back, deal with what I have to deal with. I've had a lot of setbacks over the course of the last few months or so. However, there's nothing that's so deep that I can't just breathe through it, right? Vamp and write it down like, okay, so what I need to do to solve it, because it's done. This is life. Life be lifing. And just have to take it for what it is and move on. Like just literally break it down step by step. That used to peel me. Like, why isn't this coming together? What am I doing wrong? So hard on myself. And now I was talking to a client the other day, and she said, she says, how do you just okay with, it was about her clothes. You just okay with this mistake being made? I am. And I said, my therapist told me just to do what I can do within my means. And she said, stick with that therapist.
Well, thank you, lady.
She's a therapist. So.
Okay, good. So she gets it. But, so you've actually said something, a couple of things that are really important. First of all, you keep referring to writing things down. And I think that is so key, because if you are trying to accomplish anything, really, you have to have a plan, right? So you need to have a goal, like where am I going? Like what's the thing? Instead of being vague, so being specific about that. But then you have to have some way of tracking your progress, and what are the things that I'm supposed to do? What are the steps that I'm supposed to be taking if something has happened? Keeping track of that so you can figure out the way around it. Because I mean, even something as basic as literally taking a trip, there's going to be some sort of hiccup usually that will always happen, or something, whether it's something as basic as a traffic jam. And now you stuck in traffic. Well, you're in Charlotte, so you're stuck in traffic for 45 minutes more than you thought, and you're not getting to where it is you thought you were going to get on time, but you have to find another way around an accident or something like that. Like that's a very accurate metaphor for life and setting goals and plans. Like, have a strategy, but also be flexible and don't spaz out. And, that's the other thing, because we get the expectations that we attach to things. If we're not somehow perfect, or it doesn't come out exactly right the way we had it in our head, then it creates all this extra tension and anxiety, and we get upset, and we're just like, we don't know how to handle it. And it doesn't take all that. It's really just, it don't take all that. And you're keeping yourself from getting back on track, and possibly even discouraging yourself from wanting to get back on track, because maybe it's too hard, maybe it's not supposed to work, or something's wrong with me, and then you get all that negative self-talk going on in your head. And yeah, like, it's a vicious cycle. So I'm glad that you've gotten to a point where now you can just like breathe it out, and it's like, okay, it happens.
Press
You just
reset.
press reset. Exactly. You adjust. I like that. With the goals that you have been working on so far for the summer, we are about 30 days into the summer so far for the 90-day summer challenge. How's it going? Have you had to make any adjustments so far? Is it going swimmingly?
Um, no, I don't think so one of my goals was I wanted to do a taste testing with my friends and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to like push that back and stuff a little bit. So I would say that that will be the only pushback that I had, was
Mm-hmm.
pushing back, only so that it could fit all of our schedules. But also, I want to I'm still like undecided on my menu a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then my other goal was to practice slow mornings. And I have been practicing slow mornings, and they have been the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
My 90-day goals, I was challenged to list 1 to 3 things. And something that I thought about that always comes up in our conversations is budgeting / money, and organizing.
Mm-hmm.
And so starting with my first thing first, I need to do one thing at a time. So my budgeting, I am doing a June and July spending freeze. So
Okay.
I'm not spending unnecessarily. And then like when something that I really, really, really wanted to buy, instead of purchasing it because I'm on this freeze, I put
Mm-hmm.
that in my savings. And
Oh,
so
that's a good idea.
so it is coming along great. And the good thing is I'm not full of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not full of stress. I think I held, is it $17 or $7, $18 in my purse
Mm-hmm.
all month.
Really?
Yes. I would pass by, I'm just gonna say I'd pass by McDonald's, like, oh my gosh, I would love some hot McDonald's French fries.
Mm-hmm.
I have French fries at home.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's those little things. When even going to the store, I make
Mm-hmm.
sure that I get what's on my list
Mm-hmm.
and it is necessary and that I need it. Not that it's gonna sit in the cabinet or the freezer. So the budgeting is going good. Like I said before, I feel less stressful because I have a plan. And over the summer, I don't teach over the summer, so I opened up for tutoring again.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So once that start after the holiday, that money is going to go into my savings. And
Mm-hmm.
because I crumbled my savings, and that's just me. I take one for the team,
Mm-hmm.
like a champ, and just build my savings back up.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing something I absolutely love.
Mm-hmm. That is awesome.
Mhm.
I love that. I hope you were able to get some value out of that conversation. Maybe you saw yourself in some of the things that they shared, or you could even got some ideas about what you can do in your journey of setting goals and making those things happen for yourself in your life. I look forward to speaking with you again next week. We're going to continue to talk about goals, but we're going to talk about how you celebrate your wins. When you've done all the things that you need to do, you've persevered, you've made it through the setbacks, well, then what? I look forward to speaking with you guys soon. Have a fantastic week.